pretty good copy on Perry there. And let's see, trying to think who else joined us there. I think it was KK1K. I'm not sure. I was stepped away for some coffee, so I might have missed him. And don't have a whole lot more. Real nice to be able to walk AM pretty down far into the country there in the middle of the summer. So we're going to keep trying to do that. And actually, the days are getting shorter or longer. Yeah, shorter actually. So we should be getting into even better conditions for this net as we head toward the winter. And it'll be nice in here by fall. We'll be copying stations out in the Midwest and further, and down into Florida if they're checked in. So look forward to that. A nice place to do some AM DXing. So I don't know exactly who I should pass it to here. Why don't you pick it back up there? And if it goes to if that way right now, you can get it where it's going there. Glenn, N1 SNG and the old military radio now, D12WW.
Okay, please stand by. BY2WW, W3PWW in the old military radio. Okay, John, rough copy that time. I'm starting to lose you, I guess. And looks like daylight is upon us here. I got a good copy on you, Glenn, and a good copy on Dean also. Dean, I guess you're up next. KK1K, that goes to W3MMR, then to WB2JWU. KK1K, go ahead.
Okay, very good. W3PWW and the MilRadNet KK1K. Well, good morning to all. We're copying everyone. Dan, I heard you say you were going to be in there. UMU. The handle here is Easy Alpha. We're located in just north of Burlington, Vermont, and we're copying you Q5. Not great this morning, but Q5. Dan and Steve, KD3HT had pushed the meter on the R398 over here. The carrier meter is about as far as I've ever seen it go. So you were doing very well in here. Chris, fine, and I didn't hear anything from Gene. Glenn, great signal, and John, not real strong, but copying you Q5 from up in Prince Edward Island. Like to be up there and go down and get a couple of Timbits with you there and a cup of coffee, but there you go. So it's about 77 degrees here. It's overcast right now. It was hot and muggy here, but we got a few things done outside, and we're looking forward to getting some antenna projects done. So when this hot weather is just a memory, we'll be able to sit down here in the shack and take advantage of some projects that we completed during the summertime. So we're pre-positioning our material to put in a little vertical and some ground radials, and also convert the window feed line here to some real open wire line, and to see if that helps us. So a nice thing about this window line is that it's stayed up for a good long time and haven't had any problems with it. So I'm hoping when I convert to a straight open wire line, I can get something that's as robust. So I will turn it down to you, Perry, W3MMR, and we'll stand by for the rest of the net. And Ted, as goes without saying, your signal is pounding in here this morning. So, Perry, over to you, W3MMR and the MilRadNet. This is KK1K.
W1AEA. Yeah, I heard W1AEA jump in there. I don't know if you heard him, Ted, but yeah, W1AEA is checking in. Good morning, Dan. Big signal into Chester, Pennsylvania this morning. 30 over here on the SDR this morning. Good morning to everyone in the net. W3 MMR. Name here is Perry, Papa Echo Romeo Yankee, located on Chester, Pennsylvania, about 7 miles southwest of the city of Philadelphia. Just on the Anon SDR this morning. Got to go to work here in a little bit, so didn't want to get all the tube gear fired up, so we hopped on a quick, fast, and in a hurry machine this morning. And I guess the topic of the Northeast this week has been this heat. I'll tell you, I work on cars for a living, and it's been brutal this week, and it's only supposed to be worse today. So they're calling for a high of 101 here today. That's not the feels like temperature. That's just that's going to be the actual temperature they think. So they say it's going to feel like anywhere from 110 to 115 or more. So just trying to stay as hydrated as we can and get through the day until the fat lady sings. But kind of weird conditions here this morning. The guys in New England are... sorry, let me turn another radio down. The guys in New England are bombing in this morning, but light copy on John up in Prince Edward Island, and then real light copy on Steve and Ted this morning as well. So kind of funky conditions here for me this morning, but hey, that's all the on HF in the summertime. And can't wait till the summer's over, number one, because of the heat, and number two, we can have some good operating conditions here on HF once again. So anyway, we'll turn it over to you, Ted, and I'll stick in here for one more probably. I don't have to get out of here till about 7:30, so we have a little bit of time. So over to you, Ted, if you're hearing me. W3 PWW. I'm in the old military radio. This is W3 MMR.
KW1I.
Hey, Ted, Perry turned it back to you, but I think it goes up to WB2JWU. So, Peter, if you're copying, go ahead.
Okay, KK1K in the old military radio net, WB2JWU. Ted is copying a closer in station there. So good morning to everybody. On the ARC 38, it's warm. Everybody seems to be talking about. It's about 72 in the Lakes region of New Hampshire right now. And I think we're headed up to mid-90s. So that's hot for us. And I'm still not complaining because, boy, we were cold all winter, and right now, even though it's hot, it feels good. I might be complaining about it, but right now, all is good. So, went down to the Sussex Hamfest in Sussex, New Jersey last weekend, and great to meet up with Steve, and Brown was there, and Joe, WA2EJT, so it was good to see some of the old military regulars down there. And the upcoming Wear rally next Friday here, so a lot of at summertime radio activity. So, said, yeah, it's been hot, but not complaining yet about it. Good to be warm after a long winter, but a little tough sleeping last night. We don't have air conditioning in the house because we rarely need it. I think this is one of the first nights in probably several years that would have appreciated an air conditioner. So, heard Jeff in there. Dale, good morning to you guys. Good strong signals from John up in Prince Edward Island, and you're rolling right in. And I'm going to send it to Jeff, and I guess Jeff can send it to Dale, and Dale can send it back to Ted. So W1AEA and the old military radio net, WB2JW. WPTJWU.
WPTJWU, no rat, W1A. Good morning, all. From humid Berkshire, Vermont, about 71 degrees, 72 degrees. And, well, I don't know what the humidity is, but it's got to be horrible out there. Anyway, so far, copied everybody I've heard. I'm on the D3 this morning, listening with R390. Anybody that don't know me, my name is Jeff, and I'm up in a place called Berkshire, Vermont. Northeast, almost east of Dean, KK1K. So there you go. And beach is pretty good up here. Dale was banging right in, so wasn't Glenn. And Eugene, of course. And Dean, by the way, I sent you an email. I figured out that crystal thing on those, on the Drake 2B receiver. Finally figured out how to read that chart, read it right, so I think I'm okay. So anyway, I don't have a lot going on, guys. I think I'm going to be just one and done here. If I came out and thought I'd listen, I would probably listen to Balance and that. But I will be one and done. That whoever turns your back to him can, I don't know if he's copying me or not. Dale, do you deal? KW1I from W1. Over. WA2.
Yes, stand by, Joe.
Okay, this is KW1I. I don't know if you got me on the list there yet, Ted, so I'll keep it brief, but it's about 72 degrees here, and the stations are really starting to roll in. I heard Jeff check in. He was very light, and then when he made his transmission just then, he was way over 9, so things are really starting to clarify up here. Back to you, Ted, and I heard Joe check in as well. And good morning to Pete, nice to hear the report from Sussex, and good morning to you, Dean. W3PWW, KW1I.
Yeah, okay, Dale, very good. KW1I, W3PWW, okay. Looks like Joe's up next. WA2EJT, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Ted, this is WA2EJT. Others on the frequency here. I've been listening for about an hour and a half, and first heard you, Ted, just a couple of minutes ago, where you were just at the noise, and now you're up to the book. Running the usual AR-213 here, DC-348. And as Peter commented, I was down at the Sussex Hamfest. Pete and I had a nice yak, and talked with several of the other folks from the old military net down there. Great big news, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't bring anything out of all right, well, I don't know how long it will take to make another round, Ted. I'll try to be here, but I have to pull out about quarter of 7. So I hope you're reading any of this, Ted, and back to you. W3PWW, WA2EJT.
Okay, Joe, very good. WA2EJT, W3PWW. Okay, Joe, good copy on you, good copy on AEA, good copy on KW1I. A little light on Pete there, W2JWU. Kind of lost him towards the end, and no copy there on Perry, W3MMR. He was in the noise very staticky still. That hasn't let up any. Okay, I guess let's try to go up to the top. It'd be KD4UMU. And Dan, thank you very much for all your help. Couldn't have done it without you. So it'd be KD4UMU, KD3HT, AJ1G, N1SNG, VY2WW if he's still in here, KK1K, W3MMR, maybe this time I'll hear him, WB2JWU, KW1I, W1AEA, and WA2EJT again. So that'll be the complete round. Let's see if we can get through there and I can hear everybody. KD4UMU, W3PWW in the net. Go ahead, Dan. Okay, looks like Dan has the same trouble I got up here. KD3HT, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, Ted, W3PWW in the old military radio net. This is KD3HT. Starting here, all stations coming in, and Dan, if you're still listening, thanks for helping out and guiding the ship through the storm. I heard Pete fine and Jeff fine. Dean, you had a beautiful signal coming in here initially, and you still do. Good signal from you, Dale. And we'll see how everyone else is. Perry, I heard you on the SDR up in Massachusetts, Steve's SDR, just fine. I didn't have my local receiver on at the moment, but I suspect I'll be hearing you okay as well, since I'm hearing Ted Q5. And yeah, it's a hot one out there. I feel for you guys. I don't know if it's an air-conditioned shop or just fans, but definitely stay hydrated. But I'm sure you know that. And I kind of joke that there's always the thing about people in the south moving slower than people in the north, and when you get to this heat level, you realize why you want to move slow. You don't want to move too fast, because the next thing you know, you're just broken out in sweat all over the place. So I'm just sitting here. I got a transmitter and just trying to clean the oxidation off of it. And that completes the, I think, what is it, the SCR 177 or whatever it is. Terrible with numbers. But Will is listening in the background, K1GWW up in Rhode Island. Has been with us since the beginning of the net. So I'll mention Will here. And he's said it's been weird, too, because people have come and gone up there that he could hear locally, and then they were gone. So, Glenn, I didn't hear what you had done on the ART-13, but I hope you got everything resolved. I guess there was something with the dynamotor possibly, and something with the radio. But hopefully you've got everything cleared up and things are back in operation. Other than that, just been cleaning and carrying on and throwing out a lot of resumes. So, yeah, it was good seeing Pete, Steve, N3NNG, Brown, Will was there, K1GWW, and then saw Joe and Bill, DGB. Still, it was really nice to meet W2AO, who have finally put a face to the voice, and some other programmers, N2LJO, WA2CRB, Sean, and then other local people I know. So it was a very nice day. Got a GPR 90, got that all running. AOR7 with a rack, which is a future project, but in beautiful shape. Just have to find the motor cover and the motor that will fit in there for the auto seeking part of it. And then possibly in the future a pan adapter to go with it. So always wanted to try one of those, so now I have that military SX28 in a small package type of deal. All right, I've said enough, which has pretty much been nothing. And let me turn it to Chris, AJ1G, if you're copying me at this point. KD3HT, over.
Yeah, okay, very good, Steve. KD3HT, the old military radio net, AJ1G. Yeah, copying you very nicely. Everybody else in the Northeast as well. And again, Dan, if you're copying, maybe on an SDR, you're a good job on keeping the net going early on here. Yeah, just stepped outside. It's not so bad. It's 75. Doesn't feel super humid. Not foggy. Been a lot of that lately, but not really. And yeah, I'm taking it easy nose. I have a carpentry project outside. I think I'm going to forego that.
because I'd be working on the deck. And a lot of reflected sun and everything else. It's going to be very hot. It would be a very hot job. Concentrate on power washing some lawn furniture. That'd be one of the last things I need to do before I run out of things to power wash. I'll get that all done. Like I said on the last transmission, here it is, the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And the question for today, if you want to pass it around, is what were you doing? Where were you? What do you remember of that? And like I said, I was at Clarkson College watching it from the Clarkson Rathskeller. So over to Jeep down there in Maryland, where I guess it's going to be unbelievably hot. I wonder if they're going to even play the Red Sox Royals game today. I don't know if it's an evening game or an afternoon game. I think they probably cancel it too. Buddy, our K3HVG and the old military radio net, AJ1P.
I don't think Jeep's in there, but I'll give him a call. K3HVG, go ahead. K3HVG, go ahead. No, I think he's gone. Okay, next up is N1SNG, Y2WW, KK1K, W2MR, hopefully I can hear him this time, WD2JW, KW1I, W1AEA, WA2EJ, and the back to net control. N1SNG and Glenn, which cap was bad on your ART-13? N1SNG, W3PWW, go ahead.
W3PWW, the old military radio net N1SNG on the ART-13, listening on the SP600. And yeah, Ted, kind of an interesting event here. It's always good to have the manual instead of guessing, but the blocking cap on the A13 crapped out. So that's a 3500 volts at 0.002, and I didn't identify it till I had gone through the whole set here, in and out, and I couldn't see anything that looked like it had burned. Could sure smell, but I flipped it over on the other side and went around with the mirror, and then I saw the back side of the cap, and it had split open, and I said, well, this has happened before. So I had a spare. I put the spare in, and buttoned everything back up, put it on the tabletop here, and I couldn't get any. Fired up, but I couldn't get any transmit. I couldn't get the dynamo to run. So I went into the manual about time, and there is two breakers on that dynamotor. One's for the transmitter, one's for the dynamotor. That was on the far side. I could not see that because it's up on a shelf. So I went in there this morning, and I was able to access the other side there and reset that breaker. Once I did that, the dynamotor did fire up, and everything seemed to be percolating along just fine here. So this is the third time that's taken place. Well, it's always nice to have a spare. It's kind of a rare rating there on that cap. I'll probably have to make up something next time around. But in any case, she seems to be moving along pretty good here, about 125 reps. And the modulation, what's going on? Oh, there it is. So taking a lot of the components off the ART-13, bumped into a few knobs and switches here, so everything looks really good right now. I did have the Johnson Thunderbolt fired up this morning earlier on, and I figured that would be the transmitter of choice this morning. With a little bit of time, I grabbed the manual off the shelf and started looking through that. Gave me a little incentive to go back into the other room and poke around with the R13, and sure enough, she's up and running, and without any major damage there internally. So looking really good. Sounding good there this morning, Ted, and along with Dean, and good morning to Dale, KW1I, Pete, WB2JWU. Sussex went very well there. Sounds like you had a great time. And good morning to K1GWW, Will, sitting by, listening, and probably working on some projects or other technical matter there. Good morning to you, Will. So I'm going to turn it over to John up on Prince Edward Islands and see how things are going up there at this time. BY2WW from N1SNG, over.
Roger. Good copy here. You're perfect over the air copy. 10 to 15 over. Still the ARP-13 is doing well. You know, I had one of those and I let it go. My uncle had built a station up for World War II surplus material back in the 50s. And it had an ART-13 and a big console with a couple of little racks and a power supply and AC, whatever it was, receiver. He gave it to me. I went and picked it up on the countryside of Virginia in a truck and managed to get it home and put it in the basement there, thinking I would restore it. But it just never got around to it. And when it was up here, some things just couldn't go, so I ended up giving it away. But it was a nice looking station. Anyway, still copying most of the stations very well, considering the lateness of the hour here at PEI. A couple new stations, WB2JW, 10 to 15 over here. I think you got the loudest signal, 20 dB over 9. Did not copy WA2EJT at all over the air, but I got a good copy of the PIX SDR. And Todd Esper 10 over, and Steve HT 5 to 10 over, AJ1G 10 over, and you're 10 to 15 there. In SNG. So good signals this morning, and surprisingly, it's held in here later than I thought it would. It's now 7:30 a.m. So I'm gonna make this my final, and I wish you all a good week. And we'll try to get in here again next week. And if you're not copying it, Ted, maybe somebody can pass it back to you there. In 73, W3PWW on the old military radio net, VY2WW.
Okay, very good, John. VY2WW. This is KK1K. Good copy on your signal. Actually, you were as good a copy, maybe a little better that time than you were on your prior transmission. So hopefully you're having a good day up in PIE. And find business on your ART-13 and other assorted equipment that couldn't make the trip from Virginia up to Prince Edward Island. Hopefully whoever got that is using it and enjoying it. And Glenn, congratulations on fixing and finding the, it sounds like finding the defective blocking cap wasn't a problem. It was all toasted up there. But congratulations on getting that fixed. Sounds good. All signals are good here at this end. Joe, EJT, if you're still listening, you should be. Not quarter of yet. Your signal, there was a little QSB on it, but 100% copy and peaking a good strong signal up here. So the band is starting to favor all of us. I didn't hear Dan on the last go ahead, so I think signals from Foreland are dropping off a bit. So I had mentioned before, temperature here is in the mid to upper 70s, and It looked overcast, but now it looks like the sky is cleared up pretty good. So we should have a sunny day, but as everyone else mentioned, a hot day. But there you go, no snow today. So with that, I'm going to turn it down to Perry. I believe it goes to Perry. Here, let me just check W3MMR in Chester, PA, down by the airport. This is KK1K and the Milrad net.
Nice, Dean. KK1K, W3MMR. Everybody's still hanging in there. Here in the net. And John, VY2WW, starting to scoot out a little bit, but the sun is starting to break here, so that's to be expected. And I didn't think it got so cool. I didn't think the temperature difference was, in some parts of New England was quite as big as it is, compared to down here, because I don't know who it was. I forget. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it was just, I was kind of actually walking out of the room when this was said, but they don't have air conditioning in their home up there because you don't need it. Good Lord, I would love to live in a place like that. I've lived down south for a few years. I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. That's actually where my son lives with his mother. And you want to talk about hot. It's like, this heat wave up here. I mean, this would be hot down there, okay? But, it's in the 90s every day down there. Very high humidity. Dew point 75 to 80 on a regular basis. Very oppressive. And like Steve was saying, that's why people move slower down there. They really do. And it's because of the heat. You really got to pace yourself, and they know how to live with it. Unlike us up here, us quote-unquote Yankees, it's a little bit of a different story. But Steve, no, my shop unfortunately is not air-conditioned. The office is air-conditioned, which I spend split time in the office and out in the shop. So I'm the lead technician there, and also play the role of service manager at times as well. So I do spend a few hours a day up in the air conditioning as well, fortunately, and have a pipe fan blowing on me when I'm out in the shop. But usually when I'm out in the shop, I'm doing very big jobs, engine swaps or transmissions, timing belts, timing chains, very physically demanding and time-consuming jobs. Or sitting in the car with a scanner in the heat, doing some diagnostic work. So any way you look at it, it's hot, but I'm not complaining, because God bless the guys who are roofers, who are landscapers, anybody that's got to be in direct sunlight. God bless them, because I can feel the difference just being in that heat and with, going out to get a car, in the parking lot and feeling how strong that sun is on a day like today or a day like yesterday is just, I don't know how they do it. You got to be a special breed to do something like that, so God bless them. But anyway, we'll keep it moving around here. And I think I turn it to Peter. Up there in New Hampshire. Maybe that was you, Peter, who was talking about the air conditioning, how you don't have it. Could be wrong, but could be right. I get a 50-50 shot. Anyway, up to you, Pete. WB2JWU in the old military radio net. W3MMR.
W3MMR in the old military radio net. WB2JWU. Okay, very good, Perry. Well, you got that right. We're the guys without the air conditioning up here. And, boy, I don't know how you do that. Working cars, like I said, swapping engines. That doesn't work. Pulling transmissions, even a timing belt job would not seem very attractive to me. guys working up on roofs and things like that, landscapers. This kind of heat, I would think that's actually life-threatening. You probably really can't do that. But yeah, you rarely get this one. This is the hottest it's been here probably in about 3 summers. The last 2 summers we made it through mid-91. Summer's a typical summer day up here is low 80s, humidity, really nice, very comfortable. Unfortunately, we pay for that in the winter months when it is just plain cold for months. Not plain here. Good morning to Jeff. Sussex last week. It was a very good Hamfest. One comment I would make is that there were lots of great vintage radios available at quite reasonable prices, but they clenched up too many hands, and I guess the theory is, you know, as we all get older, you know, we're looking to get stuff and lighten ship rather than acquire new stuff. So, you know, I think that's coming to pass, and I think that helped the sales down for radio. There's a lot of stuff there, but oh well. I guess we all have to deal with the kind of lightning ship. I felt too, you know, there were many attractive projects and stuff there, but I don't need more projects or more radios. So, this may be the last go around, so 73, everybody, have a good weekend. Check back in next weekend with cooler temperatures. So, up to you, Jeff, W1AEA in the old military radio, that's WB2JWU.
Okay, WB2JWU from W1AEA. Not sure I've been seeing in town here that the span is supposed to be in, but if I'm wrong, so far I've heard everybody is meeting off, and you're right, anybody's going to work outside in a direct sun today, they have my sympathy, because it's going to be nasty. With that, I don't have a lot of guys remembering, I think I turned it to Dale last time. Maybe I should turn it to Ted and see if that's right, but I think it goes to Dale. With that, everybody have a good morning. Stay tuned, guys. Be safe out there. W1AEA is off and clear. I think I was in the wrong spot. Over.
KW1I, go ahead, Dale, and give it to WA2EJT.
Okay, very good, Ted. W1AEA and the morning group here. KW1I. Switched over from the 1068 to the 150D to get that exercise this morning. And I want to go down the list here and say, Glenn, very good on, I think your AIT-13 sounds better than it ever has. And so you're rolling right in this morning. Good morning to Perry. Signals off from the last transmission. Dean, you're very loud. Joe, easy copy. KD3HC, I just wrote, wow. We're up at 95 on the R398 meter, so we got very good path at that point. Chris, good morning, very strong. And John, thanks for the signal report. You're coming in here, but I think signals are starting to trail off. But nice to hear you again this morning. Look for you next week. Let's see, we're getting ready for the rally vehicle rally up here. The vehicle club starts camping today, and I think I'm actually going to go up today and put the antenna up and my tarp in my campsite, and then possibly on Monday head up for maybe take the Jeep up and the truck
And Monday night is a turkey dinner on the field kitchen, so that'll be exciting. But we look forward to seeing you, Pete, and glad to hear your Sussex report. And also, I think I sent you the picture of the ammeter replacement, the voltmeter in the M886. It's working great. Let's see, Will, if you're listening, K1GWW, good morning to you. And I think that's it from here. I'm going to send it down to Joe, WA2EJT. And thanks, Ted, for running things. This is KW1I. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Dale, this is WA2EJT. Very nice to hear such a change in the propagation. I think the only person I haven't copied is Steve, KD3HT. Here I'm working on my AVT Rim 2 project and a little VLF converter project that has developed a little hiccup, and I have that working again now. Had great to hear you and, of course, everyone else on frequency this morning. I'm out of time here, and I think you picked me out of order. I'll turn it back to you, and I hope to see you. Well, we can start thinking about Gilbert, I guess, at this point. W3TWW on the old military net. This is WA2EJT. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, Joe, very good. Yeah, got a good copy on you also. This morning was really rough. Dan down there in I believe he was in one of the stations states down south there. KD4UMU was on this morning. He was the only way we had to get into the closer stations. So it was kind of a rough situation. And Steve, KD3HT, I think you'll like that AR7. I have one here. Quite a nice receiver. I don't use the scanning position on it, but just use as a plain receiver with some of the options it has on there is very nice. It's a very good receiver. I had it paired up with the ART-13, and right now that's down with a dead dynamotor. So anyway, this runner I've seen before. Back in the 1940s, and I was out on a tractor probably in the heat because making hay or doing something that hot, dry weather was made for. And sometimes you got a very strange phenomenon when you looked out across. We had one field that was like flat for half a mile, and this was in Maryland, and when you looked out there in the weather like yesterday afternoon, it had a phenomenon of you could see the heat waves coming up off of the ground, and it actually looked like there was a distance between the earth and the sky out at a point maybe a half a mile away. So you really got a strange phenomenon of the being out in that heat and everything. But, hey, we survived. The farm didn't, but I did. Anyway, enough of that. Well, anyone else out there for the old military radio net? This will be the last call to the net. Anyone left, please call now.
WB3CTC. WA1J.
Okay, I have CTC and WA1JUJ. Anyone else?
WB3CTC.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike, and then pass it to WA1JUJ. WB3CTC, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Ted. W3TWW. And the old military... old military radio net. This is Mike, WB3CTC. I guess they're running the ART-13 and the BC-348. Well, I'll tell you what, the propagation's weird in here this morning. When I first turned the radio on, I couldn't hear you at all, period. Nothing. And then the next transmission you made, you were full quieting. Now you're down and a little up and down and everything. It's strange. So I'm going to make this my final because I got to get out of here in the next 10 minutes, and just wanted to say hi to everybody and stay cool. I couldn't believe they got a NASCAR race up in New Hampshire this weekend, and it's forecast to be in the mid-90s up there. This weather's strange. So 7-3 everybody, and hope to catch you all next week. WA1JUJ in the old military radio net, WB3CTC.
WB3CTC from WA1JUJ. Okay, my good signal to Western Mass. Again, the name is Kevin. Located in Western Massachusetts on the GRC 19. Pushing about 110 watts. Drake W4 watt meter. Pretty warm here already, 77 degrees on our way to a forecast 100 here in Western Mass. Pretty warm weather. Unfortunately, had to spend the day yesterday in downtown Boston, and it was quite warm there. Visiting one of the daughters who lives and works in the Boston area. It was pretty warm down there. Not too much radio stuff going on here. In fact, today probably not too much of anything. Probably won't even get the lawn done. It's going to be way too hot. So signals are up and down. Very difficult morning, but hearing most of the northeast stations pretty well. So I'll say 73 cents. WW from WA1JUJ.
Okay, WA1JUJ, W3PWW in the old military radio. That's very good. Nice signal in here this morning. And really strange conditions. The static level by this time usually is abated, but not anymore. This morning was wall-to-wall static, pretty much the whole net from 0500 on. Anyway, thanks all for checking in, and we'll see some of you in the CW net tomorrow night. W3PWW closing WQRT.
7-3, Ted. Thanks. KK1K clear.
Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Ted. Had to find my mouse, which is always troublesome. KD3HT.
Now, Steve, I think you'll like that receiver you got.
Yang1 SNG, AJ1G. KD3HT, AJ1G.